It's the first monthly podcast of 2026. We're going through all of my projects. Oh boy! I just realised there's one more over here too. Jeez, take the wheel. Hello, I am Katie Parrott. This is the Katie Parrott Makes podcast. Welcome. I'm not sure I like my framing. Hold please. I think that's slightly better. Maybe. I don't know. This is my first monthly podcast. So I'm thinking for 2026, because I like doing these updates where, you know, we talk through projects and acquisitions and like all that stuff. I really enjoy doing that. And I think trying to aim to do like one at the end of each month is a nice way to do it. So that's my plan here. We're just going to go through all of my like whips. I thought about talking about my most recent finished objects, but I did talk about them in my everything I made in 2025 video, specifically my striped Maggie vest by Petite Knit and also my jelly top from May Knits. So if you do want to hear about either of these, I would highly recommend going to watch my everything I made in 2025 video. But other than that, I mean, I've been doing a lot of sewing, so we could just dive right in. Okay, well, hang on. Before we dive in, I'm wearing my wool fork. This is a sewing pattern from Jaxia Slack. Yep, I'm not going all the way back there. My craft room's in a bit of chaos because I've been in the middle of lots of projects and I probably need to today's Saturday, so maybe tomorrow I might do like a hard reset on it so it doesn't pile up and build up. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of sewing. So like I've been making these cute little trousers for my daughter in a bunch of different fabric scraps that I've had lying around. I just made this pattern based on an existing pair of trousers that she has. So freaking cute. I can actually see her through my window, which is very adorable and distracting as well. What else am I currently sewing? I'm currently also in the process of making the fort dress from Daughter Judy. She just spotted me. It's so cute. I don't know how to describe this to you, but like I'm facing a window and it's like a right angle to our living room there, and so she's in with my husband and I can see her through like the two windows. Like my window looks out, her window looks out, and her little play kitchen is against the glass, and she just spotted me. Sorry, that was so distracting. I'm making the Daughter Judy fort dress. I have like so many mixed feelings about the Daughter Judy rebrand, and there was a whole thing. You can look it up on Reddit and read all about it, but I've been really struggling to find like summery work appropriate clothing, and I thought that dress looked beautiful and totally work appropriate. So I'm making it in this mustardy linen. I'm taking my time over a bunch of different sessions, in part because of my tiny child who's staring at me again, and also because I just want to get it right, and I want to do all the finishes really neatly, and I just want it to be a really lovely garment because I make quick and dirty stuff all the time, and I'm at a competency level with sewing where like a quick and dirty make looks good still. Like it's still perfectly wearable and nicely finished and all of that, but it's not at that, you know, next caliber of finish because I'm very much a type B kind of person and I often won't like measure or press my hems and stuff like that. So I'm doing it right. I'm doing it right with that, which is fun, but taking me a long time. I think let's just dive in. I've got like so many different things to kind of talk about vibes wise, but the one I want to talk about most is this. So we're going to start with this. I got a voucher for Christmas for my local yarn shop, which is the Salamanca Wool Shop. Shout out. From my stepmom. Thank you, Penny. I just was browsing. I just popped into browse because it's right next to, well, not right next to, but it's very, very close to where my work is. So I popped in and I thought, you know, I've got lots of whips. I'm not really in a project-y kind of, I don't feel the need to start anything, but I'll just see what they've got and see whether anything is jumping out at me, and if it does, then like maybe we'll just see. Suffice to say, something did jump out at me. Do I have, here we go. So let me show you the yarn and then I will show you my project. Oh, I realized I just have another skein actually. Hold please. Okay, here's the yarn. Luca! Okay, so here is the yarn. I went and just picked up another skein of it recently because my local yarn shop does that thing that lots of places do where you can purchase like some and then they'll put the rest aside for you if you need it. I purchased 4 skeins and then was like, oh, I definitely need more, but they only had 1 more skein left. So anyway, fingers crossed 5 will be enough. But here it is. This is Fiore DK Merino Silk HD. So it's 75% Australian fine merino, 25% silk. It's a hand wash, your classic like 100 grams, 200 meters kind of deal. And this is the color Narcissus. I don't know, but like it stopped me in my tracks. Literally, I saw it and I was like, okay, well, I need to come up with a project for that because wow, the kind of burnished gold, it's so beautiful to me. It is so, so beautiful. And then I was like, well, what should I make? You know, obvious next thoughts. Sorry, I stopped to pull up my Ravelry and completely lost my train of thought. So I'm not entirely sure what I was saying just before this. But so as soon as I saw this, I knew I needed to use my voucher to get it. So that was great. And then it was like, well, what should I make? I knew I wanted to do kind of a t-shirt because the silk merino combo is just really beautiful against the skin. Like it's a very, the feel of the yarn, and as it's been knitting up, I've just been like, oh my God, this is so nice. So like the feel of it is beautiful. And so I knew I wanted to do something that I would wear against the skin. And so I thought, well, I want to do probably a t-shirt of some kind, just because like I wear my Lusk tee a lot. I find that, you know, I wear that a lot. So I did think maybe I could make a Lusk or a Tolster tee. But I was having a bit of a browse on Ravelry because I was enamored with the idea of just doing a little something more than just plain stockinette. I knew I wanted to do stockinette in the round because you'll see that pretty much all of my other projects are at a stage where, you know, I have to do either ribbing or it's flat. So I'm doing, you know, roll of stockinette, roll of purl. I knew I wanted to do just something in the round with stockinette. But I was intrigued by the idea of maybe doing something slightly fancier than just a plain stockinette. And in my browsing, I found, I'm just looking at Ravelry, the Moonflower Tea by, and I'm so sorry, I think I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but Ksenia Nadion, who is Life is Cozy on Ravelry. And I was so intrigued because I've, like, you know, you can see in the picture, but it's kind of, I don't know, you can't really, oh yeah, there you go. You can kind of see there. Is this the right side? Yes. The tea is worked with this like faux cabling. So to be really clear, this is not cables. This is just charted increases and decreases, which I think is just really fun. I have not tried this on yet. So we're going to do it together. Oh, see, like that's, like that color I feel is so pretty. And that is actually going really well. So I'm quite happy with the yoke progress on this. I feel like on camera you are really not getting the full how pretty this is, and I feel like when it's blocked out it's going to just be insane. But yeah, so this is what I've been doing and I've been really, really enjoying it. The texture and like the rhythm of the knit is very addictive and really enjoyable, and I love the color, and I just feel like it's going to be very wearable and really pretty and very soft and just all the things. So I hadn't really been knitting pretty much all of December, which I'm going to get to next because I'm a bit embarrassed. I've got a bit of a confession to make, which is a bit embarrassing, but we'll get there. I haven't been knitting all December really. For one, it's summer, so I don't know, I didn't feel the sit and knit urge, you know what I mean? But also I was doing a lot of Christmas crafting and sewing, and knitting just like wasn't my top priority. So I hadn't really been working on anything. And I have lots of whips that I could have been working on, but I just saw this and got it and got really excited. So this is about 2 weeks worth of progress. It's coming along really fast, which I'm loving. So yeah, I mean, that's coming along very fast. All things being equal, I reckon by the next update, so when I do February's update, I think I might be finished with that, which would be crazy. That's a crazy thing to say, but I don't know. I think because the way that the pattern is written and like it's structured is that you've got one row of the increases, decreases, and then you have one row of just knit. And so it kind of is this very Moorish thing where you're like, oh, I'm just going to knit one more row. Oh my God, that's my dog. Luca, must you? Apparently he must. Next up is the one that I'm a wee bit embarrassed, team, because I try really hard to get my test knits done on time. Like, that's why I sign up for them, because I can get them done on time. And if you saw my Everything I Knit in 2025 video, you would know that like I finished test knits on time. And I feel terrible for Rebecca because I absolutely didn't finish this on time, and I still haven't finished it. And so that's not my best work. But I think also, just as like a side note here, I think I'm going to do less test knits this year, particularly in the first half of the year, because I might come to it later with like some forward planning stuff that I'm thinking about. But I have a couple of gift knits that I'm going to work on in the first half of this year. And just in general, like I have projects and yarn that I want to use for things. And as much as like I desperately want to do a test knit for Rebecca Clo's book that she's working on, but I also am like feeling a bit embarrassed about this unfinished one that, yeah. So anyway, I don't know, is where we're at. Probably not as many test knits this year and more of my own projects. Just trying to find the balance between the two, whereas last year definitely tipped more test knits. This year I want to find that balance. All of that is to say, this is my inch test. The inch pattern is live now from Rebecca Clo. It is one of her like mega patterns because it has a huge number of variants. So I'm knitting the half fisherman's rib Henley femme fit because it has a femme and a mask fit. It has Henley, crew, low Henley, and it also could be done in either half fisherman's rib or stockinette. So I've never made a garment in half fisherman's rib. It's beautiful. Like, the result is stunning, and I'm going to wear the absolute shit out of this in winter. I can already tell this is going to be like a total go-to, but my lord, does it take a long time. It takes such a long time. And I really didn't appreciate how long it took until I joined it in the round, because this was obviously like, you knit the back piece, well, it's saddle shouldered. So you knit the saddles, you knit the back, you knit the front right, the front left for the Henley, then you join finally. And when I finally joined, I was like, oh my God, each row is taking an age. So that's why it's not finished. But, you know, it's gorgeous, and I love it, and I will finish it, but I haven't yet. The yarn that I'm using for it is beautiful. I'm trying to remember if I've actually spoken about it on here, because in my Everything I Made in 2025 video, I did mention that I had actually filmed, well, I mentioned that lol, I like disappeared for all of December and most of November, but also that I had actually filmed a couple of videos that I then like never edited and I've just abandoned. And one of them I talked about this, and so now I'm like, what did I say that I... Anyway, the yarn that I'm using is this beautiful like heathered grey, and it is the yarn that I bought at the Bendigo Sheep and Wool show back in like July 2025. This is all stuff from their seconds bin because I got it on a super, like they did a really cheap price for it, which was amazing. And this is from Great Ocean Road Woolen Mills. And one of the skeins, even though it was a second skein, had the tag on it. So this is their, I think, let me check. So this is the DK weight yarn that they call Labella. It is a merino alpaca blend, and this is the undyed light grey colorway. So the Labella yarn is a natural blend, oh my gosh, third time's a charm. A blend of natural alpaca fiber with superfine merino, which creates these beautiful yarns. The yarn is undyed and natural in color. It uses white merino and black alpaca. So it's really soft. And because it was second yarn, it's because some of the skeins were like improperly spun and stuff. So some of them have these big fat slubby patches because of like, it wasn't spun correctly. But what that has done for the fabric is give it this amazing sort of rustic feel. So like you can see there's one patch where there was obviously a slub. You can see here there's a couple of slubby patches. So it's overall still very uniform, but it's just that it just gives that, yeah, really rustic texture. So that is really cool, and I'm really excited by kind of what that does for the fabric that is created here. It's really beautiful. I am just taking a bit of a break from it because I have unresolved emotional feelings about not finishing a test knit on time. I'm so sorry, Rebecca, but I will get to it. Maybe once I've finished with that project because I do want to finish, I do want to wear it, and it's going to be glorious in winter. So, you know, God, my work space is a bit of a mess right now. I don't even know really what I've been working on because pretty much all of these other bags I have not touched in months. I know we've got at least one that I need everyone's advice on. So this is my luminous summer top. It's a bit jankiola because of where I'm at with it. How do I hold it best? Probably like that. Okay, I think that's the back. I need to read the pattern. So where am I at with this? I have cast on, obviously. I really like the construction for this. So you cast on in the round, you knit in the round for a little bit and do the eyelet rows that are like the design feature on the luminous summer top, and then you put the front and back stitches on hold and off you trot. So I'm using a combination of Dizzy Devil Tasmania. Sorry, I can like not talk today. I'm using a combination of sock yarn from Dizzy Devil, and this is Knitting for Olive. What is it? Super soft mohair. Really, really beautiful combination that is knitting together into a stunning, so soft fabric. Like, absolutely gorgeous. So nice. The reason why I took a pause on knitting this is because it was being worked flat and I didn't feel like working anything flat. But I'll keep working on it when I feel like it. Before summer is over, definitely, because I'd like to wear it. So that's good motivation, I guess. What next? Oh, I wanted you guys' opinion on this one too. So I have a little like grubby section. It's making me sad every time I look at it. I just have to make sure that's in the back or something, I think. Okay, so next project. This is my Anchor Summer Tee from Petite Knit. So this is knit as rows of ribbing. So you do 10 rows of ribbing and then you do like a couple of rows of stockinette, which are the increase rows, and you just keep doing that all the way down. I'm knitting this in cotton 8-ply from Bendigo Woolen Mills. I love the color. I'm having slightly, I think if I hold the texture up close, I'm like, ew, I hate that. If I hold it back here and you just get the more subtle ribs, I'm like, well, that's not too bad, and I quite like it. So I will pick this up, but I think the problem is that I had this where I was doing a lot of ribbing, and then I had this half fisherman's rib where I was doing a lot of ribbing, and then I was working projects in the flat, so I was having to do a lot of purling, and I just was a bit like, I don't want to do this, which is why I ended up doing my stockinette in the round project. I had been thinking though about this because basically what I'm planning to do is once I've done all of the little chunks of ribbing, I'm going to use the short rows method, I think from the Rebecca Clow Kintra, because that's one where you do the yoke design and then you add short rows in just before you split for the sleeves to help raise the back. I think I'm going to do that because I do need the back raised, I find, for things to fit me well. But when I was knitting this, because I wasn't sure how much I loved the front texture, I did have this kind of thought one day when I was knitting it and I turned it inside out. So that what you've got here is, again, just the rows of ribbing, but you then have the purl bumps facing out. And I don't know, I kind of like it. I feel like it adds I just feel like I need to hold it back here so it doesn't look hideous. I just feel like it adds such an interesting kind of textural component. So I'm really heavily considering, once this is all complete, like all of the rows, and then I'm just knitting the body, which is all stockinette, doing turning it around so that you've got, just for the top yoke bit, you've got the purl stitches on the outside as the right side. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think that would look dreadful, but I kind of like it. I think that could be kind of fun. So I'm thinking that might be what I do with this one. We'll just see. We will just see. Oh my God, my bra straps are annoying me so much. I'm sorry, I keep adjusting them and that must be really annoying. Okay. Let's hope that they stop falling off my shoulders now. I need your advice on this one, okay, gang? Because I think I know what I want to do but I don't want to do it. Okay, this is my Lento. It's been on hold for quite some time. I've talked about it in one of these videos before. The vision was a fade. So I had all these different skeins of Malabrigo sock that I thought, let me see if I can just hold it. You can kind of see the fade vision, right? Because the first one I bought was this one, which I absolutely love. And that is what is in the top section here. But my local yarn store did not have any more of this. So that's when I was like, well, I'll do the fade. But I don't like it. I think that that's just what I've come to realize. I just don't think that I like the fade. And I think that's why I have not been picking it up. Because once I added that second color down here, all of a sudden, instead of being like white and speckly, which I love up here, it's kind of like dark. Because I'm holding this with just some white. I reckon this is 4 or 5 ply, to be completely honest with you. But I'm holding it with this to bulk it up. So, like, I'm saying this to you, but I know what I'm going to do. I am going to frog this project. I'm going to finally get back some of my cords, which will be nice. I feel sad because the fabric that this is knitted up into is really lovely. And I think I will make the Lento again. But then, like, will I? I don't know. Maybe not. No, I think I will because it's lovely. It's really nice. I'm just bummed. Like, I don't want to frog it, but I don't want to keep knitting it. So at that point, there we go. I don't want to frog it, but I don't want to keep knitting it. And at that point, you have to make a decision. Well, what am I doing? So I think that's what we'll do. I think I will frog it and I will just have to do something else with this pretty speckled yarn that I really, really love. I have 2 skeins of it? No, I only have 1 skein. So it's just going to have to be socks or something, I guess. Sad. Sad. Turns out there was not much of a decision to be made after all. Because I'd already, in my heart of hearts, I knew what we were going to do here. So, bye-bye, Malabrigo, sock, Lento, knew thee well. Okay, well, we've still got some more project bags here. So, I think we'll just whip through these ones pretty quickly because I actually know what is in here, I've realised. My Staffen shawl, no progress, haven't touched it, fine with that. It's not the right weather. I'll pick it up again at some point, but I feel no rush, no urgent rush. Nothing else even to say about it, just like that's it, put it in the pile. I've got 2 long-term whips here, which again we'll just rush through pretty quickly. This is my Sadie top. It's designed as a layering top. I'd really like to split for sleeves. I think that would mentally help me with this top. It's meant as a layering top because it is knit with like mohair or lace. I am knitting it with Chaska Aqua lace, beautiful, which is baby suri and mulberry silk made in Peru. Knitting this for my stepmom. It was meant to be for her birthday like 2 years ago. Clearly not, but I might try and finish it for her birthday this year. Her birthday's in December, so. And she doesn't know that I'm making this, so it's not like she's waiting on something that's never appeared. But I reckon, to be honest, because this is knit on huge needles, like these are 6.5 mil needles, I honestly reckon I could put my back into it and finish this in like a week. Don't hold me to that, but I reckon I could. So yeah, eventually I'll finish it. And this one, I really am thinking I just need to pull my finger out. This is my Holger jumper, baby jumper. I finished it mostly, got to the sleeve, and then realized that for the size that I'd knitted, it's just too short. It needs to be longer because this was intended as a gift for a friend. I think the width is fine because it is really very wide, but I need to frog the pink and knit like another 4 or 5 stripes, I reckon, so that it can be worn by him and make the sleeves longer too. So again, this is one where I just need to pull my finger out and finish because it's really lovely. I've been knitting it in this Feels Like Butter, which is an acrylic from Lion brand, and because I never would do a gift knit for a kid in wool, can you imagine? No, it needs to go into the machine, the washing machine. So I would really like to finish this again. I think I could finish this in a week if I just focused. So I reckon, I'm saying this out loud to you guys now, but I think once I've finished this, maybe I'll just set myself some challenges, like, you know how I did with my winter crop? I might do the same kind of thing with these two, set myself a challenge of like, can I finish it in a week? If I really just knuckle down and don't muck around with any of my other projects, can I do it? Maybe. I think that is all of my whips, which is quite fun. Let me just check on my Ravelry. Oh no, one more. But I haven't done anything on it since, I don't know, when I started this ages ago, and then I got sidetracked with summer projects. So I suspect this will get more of a run when the weather starts cooling down again. This will be my knit, purl, repeat sweater. I've literally barely done any. I've done the saddle shoulder and I've started the back. I'm using Bendigo Woolen Mills Luxury, I think. No, that's not it. Oh, I'm using Bendigo Woolen Mills Luxury for this, which is the main colour, the main pink. And then I'm using just Classic for the colour work that I will eventually be doing when I feel like knitting winter things again. I'm definitely in this headspace of like, I want to try and finish some of my summer knits so that they actually get a chance to be worn this side of the year, because otherwise I'm not going to get to touch them for like until probably December. So the only other thing that I really wanted to mention, I think, as far as projects, before I talk a little bit about acquisitions and wrap up the video, is I was very touched recently because my grandmother asked if I would knit her a jumper. And I was very touched because she's such an amazing like craftswoman herself and taught me so much about knitting. And, you know, back in the day, like bought a wool fleece and like treated and carded and spun and knitted a jumper with it, you know, like really just an iconic woman. I bloody love her so much. And she is getting on though a bit. She turns 90 this year and told me that she struggles to hold the weight of a knitting project anymore. And she's also lost a lot of weight, and asked if I would knit her a jumper because she doesn't really have any that fit her. So we went through a whole bunch of different options. Like she didn't really know what she wanted. So I just started pulling up patterns that I owned or thought that would be fun for me to knit. And she really liked the Sea Glass sweater by Woolen Pine, which is a little bit stressful because I did have to really reinforce to her that like I wouldn't necessarily be able to perfectly duplicate it because of the nature of a scrappy sweater, but she understood that apparently. So she said, I had this Dolce from Bendigo Woolen Mills, which is a 50% wool, 50% bamboo 8-ply. It's very soft, and I really like in Sea Glass projects when there is one color that is held throughout and then it's just the contrast color that changes. So we decided that we would hold this throughout the whole thing and then just change the contrast colors. And hello B,
go get mommy.
Come
go
here.
Cuddle mommy.
Cuddle.
Eggie, sorry.
That's okay, I don't care. Come here.
Go to mommy.
Oh, scrumptious. You do smell like butter and eggies. Yeah, so my granny was very enamored with the main project sample for the Sea Glass. And in that, they've got this kind of raspberry colour for the hems and for the hem and the cuff and the collar. So this is also Dolce, and I can't remember what colour it is. Let's see. Oh, I haven't been on the new Bendigo Woolen Mills site. God, it's so much better. Good work, team. I think it is... So this is Poppy from Bendigo Woolen Mills Dolce. So this is going to be, what did I say? Collar, cuffs and hem. So it'll be very similar in base colours to the main project sample, but obviously it's a scrappy sweater. So I kind of need to start going through in there all my scraps to start making it, which is why I haven't started it, because I feel a little bit like I'm going to need to really like lock in. I don't know, I feel overwhelmed. If anyone has made a Sea Glass sweater before, give me all your tips and advice, please, because I get a bit stressed and overwhelmed thinking about starting, particularly because it's for my granny and I'm really touched that she asked me. So on to acquisitions. I think there's only two kind of main things I want to talk about. The first one is my Advent from 2025, which was the Rainbow and Sprinkles DK Advent. So I did buy a couple of extra skeins of the main like skein color, which is this. It is so pretty. I literally have no idea what I'm going to make. with this, by the way. I made a whole video about advent patterns and then I've just been too overwhelmed to even think about it. Oh dear, it's so tragic. So I probably just need to pick something and start. I don't actually know if I'm going to use this because it's going to depend what advent pattern I pick, right? If I'm doing just like stripes, then this could be fun, but this is so distinctive that part of me is like, maybe I will save this for another project, because this is 800 meters here, which would be enough to make like a tank top, or I don't know, to use for something else. I'm not actually sure how this will knit up. I'm not the best at reading skeins. Let's have a little. So I think this would be like a color pooling situation. So I don't know if like that's something that I want to use in with the rest of the advent. Not my best reskein, but that'll be fine. Now this is the advent itself, which I love. I am not gonna go into all of these bags, so I will just put a photo up of the advent, but it's beautiful. It's so vibrant. And what I ended up doing, because I hadn't made a decision about what I wanted to make, and I knew I would struggle to like remember what order they were in if I did want to do a project with like stripes or something. I quite like using the order that it came in. It's nice. So what I actually did was I put each day in its own little bag here. I haven't wound them or anything, like they're still in their little mini skeins, and that way I can easily keep track of what day order they were in. I would really like to use these before like next Christmas coming, because I haven't decided which advent I'll get for this Christmas. I do find you kind of need to order them, like they come up in like May and April, which is crazy, but I guess I understand because the dyers need to be able to plan ahead and stuff. But I would like to use this before then, because I haven't decided what advent I'm going to buy. So we'll see where I land with this. I did have a few different ideas, but I'm just like, I don't know, man. Another acquisition, which I'll insert the clip now. Got a parcel, didn't want to wait to open it until I could film next, so I'm filming this now. You'll be seeing it in with the rest of the video. Whatever. Last year I signed up for the Rainbow and Sprinkles 6-month like deluxe yarn club, so you get a delivery every month. This is January's. I'm super excited. I have a pattern in mind, the Stephen West sweater pattern. I'll find it and put it up. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, I thought I could make that. So the theme for January is New Year vibes. Cute. So this is, the light's not very good here, maybe I should move. Okay, this is a weird angle, but whatever. So this is New Year vibes on the Luscious sock base, which is a 4-ply, 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 400 meters, 100 grams. Classic. It's so pretty. Oh, I love that like brighter section in there. Just a cute little 2026 stitch marker. And then this is the New Year vibes mini set. Same base. These are 20 gram, 5 by 20 gram, 80 meters each. So they go together. And we've kind of got like one more pinky, one more purpley, one more blue, one green, and one yellow. So that is super cute and super pretty. So yeah, I'm going to kind of try and keep all these together. And then after the 6 month is up, or I guess I could before, but it might be more fun after the 6 months is up, to put them all together to make this Stephen West sweater that I want to make. Cute. Okay, this is the last acquisition and I'm so excited by it. And you can probably kind of guess what it is because of the fact that I have got fiber here. But my big Christmas present for December 2025, like, so my main Christmas present this past year from my husband was an e-spinner. I'm so excited. So I did buy this at I bought it with we have Christmas money put aside. I purchased it. I was there, you know, saving on the shipping. I can't really get it all out, but like it's made, this is the Twisted U e-spinner. All the parts are in there. I have not yet had a chance to take it out and put it all together because honestly, like, things have just been so crazy and I kind of need to give myself like an afternoon to lock in, put it together, get it going. I also got one of their recommended power banks that you can run it off, and a bobbin plying thing. What are these called? Lazy Kates, I think, which is rude. So I got that for Christmas. It comes with 50 grams of fiber to practice with. I bought some additional fiber from them at that show, which is this beautiful yellow. And I think this is, I don't know if this is 100 grams or 200 grams. Like, I don't know if that's one skein or if this is 2 skeins worth kind of thing, but I bought some of that. And then last year at the D-Stash market that I did, I got this. So I got this bright pink hand-dyed wool top Corridale, approximately 100 grams. And I got this green one, which is such an insane color. And this is Harvest Hues Tops Sycamore, 100 grams, 65% organically farmed Falklands Merino, and 35% Devon Swart Bulls. I literally have no idea. So anyway, that's exciting. But like, look at that. How insane is that color? Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So this is going to be the year that I do some spinning. I just haven't, you know how when it's something new, you kind of ripping the band-aid off kind of vibe can sometimes take you a little while. That's kind of where I'm at with this, but that's okay. So I think that's the end of this video. I have 2 more things that I wanted to just quickly say. The first thing was that a new thing I wanted to do for these monthly, now I'm going to try and do these monthly podcasts, video project, whatever, is I wanted to shout out someone who I've been really enjoying and watching. I don't watch a ton of like knitting, crafting YouTube because a lot of people annoy me. They either like talk too slow, or their style doesn't really align with mine, or if they're a really small person, like they only knit patterns, like they don't knit size inclusive patterns, you know, so there's a lot of reasons why people annoy me. But I do watch some people, and I really wanted to use this opportunity to like shout someone out. So I have been watching a lot recently Mo Knits. So this is Monique. She's an illustrator, and she also has this knitting Instagram and channel. And I feel like I'm always getting cool inspiration from her. I love her style. I love the color choices she makes and the patterns that she knits. They're obscure, but not like too obscure. I feel like we're probably at a similar competency level. So that to me is really enjoyable, because I like seeing someone else knit things where I'm like, I could make that. So yeah, I really, really recommend her channel. I think you should go check her out. And if you do, tell her that I said hi. I don't know her, but I just really like her channel and her content. So that's that. The last thing I wanted to say is on a little bit of a somber and personal note, because I assume if you're watching to the very end, you're probably someone who watches my content more regularly. And this is on a bit of a sad note, but a dear friend of mine passed away very, very unexpectedly last week. A total random medical situation that couldn't have been foreseen or prevented, and is really devastating. But the reason why I wanted to mention it is because what it has really struck in me is that reminder to tell people you love them, tell people you appreciate them, not to take for granted the time that we have with people, and, you know, to make choices that let us like live our lives to the fullest. So use the expensive nice yarn that you have sitting around. Use the good quality linen or whatever fabric that you've bought for like that special project, and catch up with your friends and your loved ones. Give your friends a hug. Tell them you love them. And just be grateful that we're here. I know that it's a bit sanctimonious maybe, but my husband and I have been talking a lot about, you know, how grateful we are to have each other, and that you know, my friends were meant to spend the rest of their lives together, and that has been cut short. So yeah, that's all. Sorry, it's a bit of a somber note to end on, but it's really struck a chord with me recently that we do a lot of putting things off and taking things for granted. Everyone, particularly in times like this where awful things are happening all over the world and the cost of living is really high, and it's easy to get sort of bogged down in the churn of life. But it's precious and fleeting. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and hopefully I won't end on such a somber, sad note in our next video. But until then, bye.